All right, it's story time, fellas, and we are back again. And tonight we have Cash with us here, going to help us go through the story, right, Cash? He's not in the background snoring tonight. Got a good story here for you. This one is of a woman whose husband left her for a younger woman, and she still can't get over it 10 years later. She is still angry. She is still pissed off. And the funny thing is her story is actually quite common, right? A lot of these guys will end up leaving their first marriage or their first wives for a trophy wife, right? Because they move up in the world, they get more financial status, they get more social status, and they trade up, basically. That's what we call it, right? We call it trading up. I am not encouraging that type of behavior, right? I'm just going to say, yeah, you shouldn't get married in the first place until you're absolutely ready and you're at that level where you can get the trophy wife and you don't have to go through the starter wife. But I think there was also a movie on this, right? Wasn't there a movie like 20 years ago called First Wives Club? And it was basically these chicks who were first wives and they got left for a younger woman. But this is all too common in our society, right? But it's also, it's also kind of funny too, because it's almost like the shoe is on the other foot. But let's jump into this woman's story here. It's pretty interesting. She says, my cheating ex-husband got his happy ever after, and I can't move past my anger. Ask Roe. Okay, this one's from the Irish Times, from Ireland, right? The maker of my DeLorean, actually. It's built in Ireland. It says, ask Roe. I did absolutely nothing wrong, and yet I'm the one who's suffering. Oh my gosh. Already we have to start with the typical and common lack of accountability here. Just the lack of agency that so many, not even just modern women, so many women, period, have. They just have you can't blame them for anything. It's always someone else's fault. And even her, she got left for a younger woman over 10 years ago, and she's still sitting here 10 years later with no introspection, no enlightenment, nothing. She's still saying, I did nothing wrong. Why am I suffering? Clearly you did do something wrong, because the dude would not have left if you were not doing something wrong. Okay? So this is her here. Apparently she's still very angry and very upset that her husband, who is her age, left for a younger woman. So it says here, Dear Roe. I guess it's kind of like a Dear Abby in Ireland, right? Dear Roe, my husband left me 10 years ago for a younger woman whom he was having an affair with. My friends all said that he would only do to her what he did to me. But my daughter, who pretty much lives with him at this point, says they're happy. They go on walks holding hands, and they've just announced they're expecting another baby. He could be cheating on her, but he seems to be staying at home every evening. That's a sign that he's not cheating. He's staying at home. That's a sign that, especially for a woman, that she's not cheating too, is when she keeps her feet at home. That's what it says in the Bible. You want to spot a good woman? She keeps her feet at home. That's how you know. Bad woman does not keep her feet at home, does she? She's always out at the clubs, out at the bars, off to Cabo with a girlfriend. She's never at home. But anyway, it says in this article, by the end of our marriage, he was going on a lot of long drives by himself, probably to self-reflect, right? Probably to reflect on why he's not happy with you. He says he left me because he was unhappy in our marriage. What did I just say? He says he left me because he was unhappy in our marriage and always has been, which is just not true. She literally just said it's not true. Dude, this is what you call being neglectful, right? This is what you call being neglectful. And the sad part is this is usually transcendental, not only in a relationship with her husband, but it usually foists onto the kids and her parenting style. She becomes neglectful of her children. Like if they're saying, hey, I don't like, this flavor of ice cream, she'll be like, of course you do. Why wouldn't you? This is what you call a Karen as a mom, right? She's a Karen. So the fact that her husband is literally telling her, I'm unhappy with you, and I always had been in our marriage, and she's sitting here going, no, that's not true, instead of going, why? Why were you unhappy? What could we have done differently? What could I have done? Where did we go wrong? Let's have a conversation. No, it's not true. It's not true. I made you happy. Apparently you didn't, because this is why the guy left. You didn't listen to him, right? You didn't listen to him. Women always want men to listen to them, but you know what? You got to listen too. Everyone says we were the happiest couple around. Yeah, everybody outside of your marriage, those people aren't living with you, sweetie. They're not inside your house 24/7. You know, they don't have to see you breaking his balls. He abandoned our whole family, and now it just seems like there's no justice in the world. Of course there is. He's happy, and I'm so angry all the time. He made a commitment to me when I got pregnant with our first, but then just one day decided we weren't good enough for him anymore. It's so unfair that he treated me so badly and yet treats his new wife so well. I did absolutely nothing wrong, and yet I'm the one who's suffering. How can I get past this? Listen to what she just said. Here's a woman whose husband left her marriage. Husband went and remarried a younger woman. A guy who told her flat out, I was unhappy with you. And here she is saying, I did absolutely nothing wrong. Yes, you did. Okay? Yes, you did. But only only you could figure out what you did wrong exactly, but you're not willing to figure that out because you're already telling yourself that you're a victim and you did nothing wrong. Right? The lack of agency with so many of these women is just astounding. And the reason why he's happy with this other younger girl and he's treating her better is probably because she treats him good. She treats him better too, right? He treats him better than you treated him. Could that be a possibility, Karen? Right? Could that be it? That she's not breaking his balls? That she's not constantly nagging him? That she's not constantly busting on him or putting him down or verbally abusing him like I see so many of these older women do with their husbands after so many years of marriage? Could that be the reason? No, I did absolutely nothing wrong. We were totally happy. Everyone in our neighborhood said so. Apparently not. So she's like, how can I get past this? And then I guess the Dear Abby guy goes on to give her some advice. He says, I feel your anger and pain so clearly in your letter, and I'm sorry that you went through such a horrible, life-changing experience. It's clear that family and commitment are hugely important to you, and when you got married and had a child with this man, it felt like your happy ever after fantasy was happening, and then was suddenly wrenched away when he betrayed you and left. It is perfectly normal that this experience would leave you with anger and hurt. It's also natural for some feelings of pain and jealousy to be evoked when you have to see your happy ever after fantasy now being played out with somebody else. It's because you failed to deliver, right? I mean, and that's fine. It's fine, but you're not gonna move past this, right? I don't know. I'm just calling her Karen because I don't know her name. You're not gonna move past this, Karen, and you're not going to. You're not going to, you're just going to repeat this in your next relationship if you don't fix this, right? Even my exes that did me wrong, exes that did you wrong, the way you learn from it is you reflect. You go, hey, okay, yeah, what a bitch, she cheated. What could I have done differently? Where did I go wrong? Where was my mistakes? At what point in that relationship did things start to go south? And then you start just reverse engineering what happened in your relationship so you don't repeat it again. And this is why I tell you guys, I have not been dumped since 2006. That was the last girl. That's why I always talk about her. That was the last time, 2006. This is an insane streak, right? It's like a quarterback, not being intercepted in the last, 17 seasons, right? So, and the reason for that is it's not because I got, I mean, really, a lot of it I credit to just taking responsibility for what I did wrong. Even though she cheated, she monkey branched and all that. You guys know the whole story. I'm not going to get into it. But I took responsibility for the times I simped, the times I that I should have held my ground and I didn't, because I was trying to be the good guy that Disney told you to be, right? I was trying to be that dude instead of being myself and trusting my gut and going, hey, bitch, knock that shit off. I don't like that. No, you go to a club with your girlfriends. We're done. Or, hey, no, you take a trip without me. No, we're done. Or you don't come home on time. Forget that. I'm going to do my own thing. I'm not waiting for you. I'm going to go to dinner by myself. A lot of times, like, just little things like that, right? She would start to push the envelope, start to push those boundaries, and I would just be like, no, want to show her that, I care about her, so I'm just going to let her get away with this behavior, and then look what happened. So that has not happened to me since, because I corrected my behavior. The way you correct it is by being a little introspective, and you humble yourself, and you look in the mirror and you go, hey, what could I have done differently so I don't repeat this again? Because I don't want to go through this pain and hurt again. But she is clearly going to go through this pain and hurt again in her next relationship, if she even has one again. She's already, in her 50s? Right? So it's kind of a long shot. But if she ever does, by chance, she'll just screw it up again with the next guy, because there's no accountability with her. Just like most women, right? So the guy, her dear Abby here, goes on to say that what is concerning here is that all your feelings of pain and anger and jealousy are still so all-consuming after 10 years. That is an extremely long time for these feelings to take so much space in your life. Exactly. And it is clear they have become damaging. If I was her ex-husband, you know what I would do? I would I would make sure that he has security around him, because this sounds like the type of chick that would go and, I don't know her, but this sounds like the type of chick or the type of situation that could end fatally, where her husband could mysteriously be shot. So I would be careful if I were her husband. I would get some security, because obviously this woman is still very angry at him, right? So she has not moved on, and she does not like the fact that he's living happily with this younger woman, and she might resort to some deadly behaviors just based on a lot of movies that where this stuff plays out. I don't say that you need to move past these feelings, because I buy into the oft-touted, often infuriating, dismissive idea that forgiveness is always necessary, or that feeling anger towards people who have harmed you is an indictment of your character rather than theirs. I say this because I believe there can be a difference in the reason we choose not to forgive someone and the impact it can have on us. You can choose not to forgive someone because you believed what they did to you was unforgivable, and by acknowledging that, you are holding onto your own sense of boundaries and self-respect. So this guy's basically telling her to move forward, right? And basically he says that here. He says you would be able to move forward without basing your self-worth on his actions, and enjoy a life living up to your own values, if she could just accept what he did and maybe look at some things that she did and forgive herself, forgive him, and move on. Okay? And if you don't want to forgive him, forgive yourself and move on. But you are choosing not to forgive your ex in a way that doesn't free you from him, but rather keeps your entire sense of self-worth and justice completely and utterly dependent on him. Though this man left you a decade ago, you are still clinging on to the old stories you told yourself when you got married, that your fate is inextricably tied with his, that your happiness depends on him, that he and he alone gets to decide if you are worthy and lovable. Though this man left you a decade ago, you still value him and his opinion of you more than anything else. You have shrunk your entire life down to this man. Even your definition of justice has been shrunk. Exactly. This guy's got it to a T. Right? What he did to you was cruel, and it is unfair that you had to suffer. But we both know that the universe's sense of justice does not entirely hang on breakdown of one marriage. Whether your ex gets to be happy. You want a just the same story to explain why you're unhappy, but you're unhappy precisely because you have made this man the entire center of your idea of justice, of your idea of self-worth, and your idea of your happiness. Those are the feelings you would need to address in order to move on. Yeah, I agree with all this, but and he's giving great advice, by the way, but what he fails to call her out on is just her basic lack of self-awareness. Okay, this chick has none. Like I said, I mean, sounds pretty neglectful, because even when her husband did come to her, and he probably did try to talk to her, right? I'm sure this guy, before he monkey branched to this younger woman, he probably tried to talk to her several times and was like, hey, honey, can you knock off talking to me like that? Honey, can you stop belittling me? Honey, can you stop telling me what to do and how to live my life? And can you just be supportive of my dreams and stop bashing them? Stop putting them down. Can you just stop? And she was like, no, I'm just helping you. This is good for you, right? She's a Karen. This chick is a Karen. He married a Karen, and that is his fault too. I mean, he should have vetted her more. Usually you could see these signs from the first few dates that the chick is a Karen, or the chick is just a little too overbearing, and you don't want to put up with that for the rest of your life. So why he put a ring on her finger is a mystery. He should have known better. So I'm holding her husband accountable for that, but I'm also holding her accountable for her neglectful behavior, just based on the things she said in this article. Just saying that, oh, it's not true, we were happy. I don't care what he says. It's not true. It shows that she's not listening, man. She's not listening. And you can't have you can't be in a relationship with someone, much less have a partnership with somebody. I mean, you can't even be in a band with somebody, put it that way, if you can't communicate with each other, right? If the other person is just, they only want to live in their own echo chamber, which unfortunately a lot of women do. Right? A lot of these strong, empowered women, they're so strong and independent, yet if you don't tell them exactly what they want to hear, they will denounce you, they will cancel you, they will block you on social media, because they're fragile little babies at the end of the day, right? They're not strong, they're not independent. Instead, they're weak, they're very dependent, and they're very cowardly. So that is one thing that this guy who's trying to give her advice, which is great advice so far, is failing to point out is, hey, this guy told you he wasn't happy and you didn't listen. You didn't open up your ears and ask him those pressing questions like, why? What's going on? Right? How can we fix this? How can we change this? That is what you do when you're in a mature relationship with someone. It's not just about you, right? There are two people here. It's about both of you. And even my ex from 2006, I remember she flew off the handle when I said that towards the end of our relationship, because she kept saying, I need this from my partner, and I met this guy, and I think I'm going to try because I need to satisfy myself, because you're seeing a therapist at that time, right? Of course, therapy, she was paying the therapist to basically cheerlead for her hypergamy. And then she was coming to me acting like, oh, see, my therapist even said that. It's like, yeah, because you're paying that bitch, right? And same thing, right? It's like, dude, there's two of us here. And she flew off the handle. I was like, hey, this relationship, it's not just you, it's both of us. She was like, what? Oh my God, we're so done. We're so done. Like, literally, she said that. She was like, we're so done. Because I said, there are two of us in a relationship, it's not just you. Which is completely reasonable. Especially for somebody who's telling me that I just met someone, I'm going to go on a date with them, I need to do what's good for me. And me basically answering that with, hey, it's not just about you here, there are two of us. Right? It's not just all about you. Oh my God, we're so done. We're so done. That was the beginning of the end right there. I was like, I can't talk to this person. I can't. Just like this chick. It's no different, man. It's like you can't have a conversation with somebody like that who is hell-bent on my way or the highway. Especially when it's the woman, right? Because the women, they're not supposed to have ego. This is why I tell you guys, once your woman starts to, or you meet a woman who displays ego, just run in the other direction, right? Just take off. Don't have anything to do with her unless you're a masochist and you like that type of torture and you like coming home to that mouth and that attitude, then be my guest. And that gaslighting, because this is some serious gaslighting. She's like, her husband was flat out telling her, trying to communicate with her. And like I said, I bet he's done it a million times before. Like, honey, will you listen to me? Honey, can you just hear me out for a second and hear what I want? No, you're happy. We're all happy. Everything's peachy. but I'm not. No, you are, right? So this chick's a total Karen. But she's not going to listen, and I don't need to read any more of his advice because it's great advice that he's giving her, but she's never going to look inside of herself. She's always going to look outside of herself because why? That keeps her blameless for what happened, right? It keeps her unaccountable. Keeps her blameless and unaccountable, like, oh, I didn't do anything wrong. I was a perfect wife, and this piece of garbage ex-husband of mine just left me for a younger woman. And although he's happy with her and she's treating him well and he's treating her well, I don't understand why this is so unfair. It's like, dude, do you see how happy he is now? Could it be because she's treating him better than you ever treated him? Could that be it? Could it be that she's giving him what he wants that you never did? Could it be that she doesn't mouth off to him when he gets home from a long day of work? Could it be that she knows when to shut her mouth and to stop talking and stop yapping in his ear and give him a break? Could that be it? No, we were happy. It's just not true. It's just not true. Right? I would go bonkers dealing with a chick like this, even for 5 minutes. I wouldn't even be able to work with a chick like this, much less be in a relationship with a chick like this. And you know what? I have worked with chicks like this in the past, and I just completely kept our conversations as limited as possible because I didn't want to hear the mouth, and I was always feeling sorry for the men that they came home to. I was like, those poor bastards, they have to deal with this all day, every day? Ugh. So, yeah. And I mean, the last paragraph here that the advisor gave her was, you are unhappy because you have made someone who left you a decade ago the center of your universe. True. When the center of your universe should have been you all along. No, I don't agree with that. Not if you're married. I mean, you're in a partnership now. That's like saying when you enter a partnership in a business going, you got to make it about you. It's like, no, we have to make it about the business. We have to make it about providing value for that business, cherishing that business, and growing that business. Just like a marriage. You have to make it about the marriage, cherishing the marriage, and growing that marriage, expanding it, making it better. Okay, you can't just like, me. You can start to change this now. Start writing a new story about your life with you at the center. This isn't a new chapter. This is an entirely new book. It's going to be amazing. So here he is, typical advice column guy giving her, a pep rally when really, no, you need to be more honest with this chick. And that's what he failed to do here in his assumptions, in his advice, which a lot of it was good up until the end there. But he failed to tell her what she needed to hear. Not what she wants to hear, but what she needs to hear, which is, hey, you just don't listen. You don't listen. You didn't listen. And I guarantee she probably read this and is not listening to a word that he said here in his advice to her. Not listening to a word. She wants to be in an echo chamber. She just wants to hear her own thoughts and ideas repeated back to her. No different than any leftists or, feminists out there who watches the same lefty channels so they can, stay in their echo chamber. Not to get political, but yeah, there she is. Here she is, still unhappy, and she's going to continue that way, and it's sad. She's never going to figure it out. It's like she's her own worst enemy, right? She is her own worst enemy. She is now doing this to herself. She's been doing it to herself, but especially now, right? There's no one else left to blame but herself, and even then, you see the extent these women will go to just shield themselves from any blame whatsoever. They will just sit there in misery, wallowing in their own delusions that they have done nothing wrong, that they're perfect. Oh, I'm good, I'm moral. Oh, I was such a good wife. Even when, if they look at the scoreboard, it would tell them the truth. And the scoreboard would tell them that you have lost. All right? Anytime you lose, right? Any normal person who loses, like any team who loses, what do? You go back to the drawing board and you look back. Why did we lose that game? How do we fix it so we don't lose again? Right? When we're back in the same position, what do we need to change here? But does she look like she's going to change anything? No. Right? And this is why I'm against dating these older women. This is why I tell you guys. Right? And I get hated on that. Like, chicks are like, oh, you pervert old man dating a 20-year-old. And it's like, this is the reason. I'm like, hey, I'd rather be that than a masochist, right? Somebody who hates himself and is going to get in a relationship with, somebody like this age who is going to break my balls every day, never take accountability for anything, and act like she's a good person when she's destroying somebody mentally and causing somebody to break down and gaslight somebody and causing that person to be in a constant state of just confusion and anger and just unhappiness. Why would you want that? Right? Why would you want that? That's why these guys are going for younger women, especially these older ladies who, I even told you guys, it was Christmas. I was getting hate messages from older women like this on Christmas, hating on me for videos I've done based on statistics. Based on the statistics, they were coming after me. And that would solve their problem, right? Let me come after him on Christmas to make him feel bad because I failed in life and I got divorced and I'm a single mom. Let me blame this pickup artist on YouTube. I'm going to track him down, his social media, and stalk him on Christmas because I have no family anymore. I have no friends. Nobody wants to be around me. I'm totally toxic. But let me go after this pickup artist guy. I'll feel better. I'll get my 2-second dirty high. That will fix everything. Instead of looking in the mirror and going, hey, what a bitch I am. Hey, I'm toxic. Hey, I need to fix myself. There's something really wrong in my life when I'm hate mailing a pickup artist on Christmas. So that is just sad. It is just sad the lack of self-responsibility and that basic lack of agency that these women have. It's just so astonishingly sad and pathetic and cowardly. I don't even know what else to say. So I'm just going to wrap up here. Until next time, this is me and Cash. Cash signing out. Gizmo's in the next room, so I've got Cash with me here. He woke up from his nap, so he's like, I'm going to help with these stories, Dad. He's like, wanted to be part of this, so here he is. And he's the one who's usually snoring in the background, by the way, FYI. But we're going to wrap up here, guys. As usual, drop your comments below. Let me know what you think about our story. Anything you'd like to add, anything I might have missed. Feel free to share below any experiences that you've had that are similar, especially if you're divorced, that you want to share with our tribe here so they don't make the same mistake, because that's the positive about a lot of us men is we have introspection. We don't mind blaming ourselves so we could fix our mistakes, right? Unless you're one of these male haters of mine who's trapped in your feminine frame, then you think just like this chick, right? You have no accountability either. You're basically a woman. But if you're a normal thinking man like the rest of us here, drop your comments below and share your experiences below. I always love to see you guys, my comments. I always love to read them, and very entertaining. So drop your comments below. And also, don't forget to smash that like button. All right, smash it right now. Hit the notification button next to it as well. And the subscribe button, son. Make sure you subscribe to the 33 Secrets, as we'll be covering more stories like this in the future. So make sure you're subscribed as well. And for you guys who want to support my work and all of this incredible, fabulous content that I'm teaching you, the best way to do that is by jumping into my monthly online coaching program, 7 Months Mastery, where I'm teaching guys just like you how to go out there and approach and close the hottest, youngest, and most beautiful looking women on the planet, the 8s, 9s, and 10s, the same exact type of women that, unfortunately, women like this are really angry towards guys like us for going for, right? They're really upset that older guys like us are dating these younger women. But these are the women I teach you guys how to attract, how to pick up, how to get into relationships with, because these are the women that are going to be the most feminine, that are going to be the most submissive, that are going to be the most peaceful, that aren't going to be breaking your balls every day, that aren't going to be nagging you every moment of the day, that aren't going to be constantly pissing on your dreams and belittling you and putting you down and name calling you and shaming you. I mean, why would you want to put up with that with some woman your own age? Why? Do you hate yourself? I mean, I have to ask guys who do that. Why? You don't have to. You could get younger women. And it starts by getting into 7 Months of Mastery. I'll teach you how to do it. As somebody who dates plenty of young women, I will teach you how to do it, guys. Okay? And right now it's only $1 for the entire first month of coaching lessons from me. So take advantage of it. And it's really easy to get signed up. All you need to do is click that link below in my description box. It will take you over to my website where you can get signed up right now. So do that now, take advantage of it, and I will see you in my next coaching video. All right, say goodnight, Cash. Night, everybody. All right, we're out. Me and Cash. Until next time.